ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
Tonight, residents brace for the hot, dry weekend.
With it being so hot the next couple of days, I'm on pretty much high alert.
Good evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt. The National Weather Service issued a red flag warning. As ABC 10 News reporter Cassie Carlisle tells us, that's not something survivors of the Lilac Fire want to hear.
I spoke with Kimberly Mars, who lives in Bonsall, where the Lilac Fire scorched homes just a quarter mile away. While thankful she was saved, her head is on a swivel this weekend.
I'm super diligent. I'm always looking in the sky and paying attention.
Paying attention to fire conditions, and Mars knows the devastation fires can bring. The Lilac Fire started December 7th, 2017, burned more than 4,000 acres and destroyed 114 homes in a week.
Especially when it gets extremely hot, especially having gone through the Lilac Fire in the middle of it, I get a lot of anxiety from it. And that's why I try to stay on top of it, because I want to be super prepared.
This weekend, she's gearing up.
I'm going to fill my gas tank up. I think I'm going to have a tank, and I'm going to be filled up, because just in case you have to load up, move out, just kind of queue up some of my friends that have trailers and just make sure everybody's just kind of paying attention.
And she's shutting down.
I'll charge everything up in the morning and then pull all the plugs in the afternoon. I think that there's going to be just huge surge in power use this weekend, so we need to not blow the grids.
Hoping everyone is doing their part to stay safe this weekend.
Pray we don't have extreme Santa Anas. We get through this heat wave. Stay cool, stay indoors, stay hydrated.
The red flag wildfire warning is in effect from 10 a.m. Saturday to 6 p.m. Sunday. Reporting at home, Cassie Carlisle, ABC 10 News.
And meteorologist Angelica Campos is joining us now, and she's tracking a record-breaking weekend ahead. Angelica.
Hi guys. Yes, we definitely do. Try to maneuver my way around my graphics, but hey, this is live TV. It happens. It is going to be a challenging weekend. I'm going to try to move through them to see if it works. So there it is. The temperatures right now are in the low 70s, near 80 degrees in Julian. Mount Laguna is at 67. And tonight, even though we're already feeling the heat, the worst of it is still yet to come. Tomorrow, it's going to be much hotter in our coastal communities, with an excessive heat warning going into effect, and a red flag warning also starting tomorrow at 10 a.m. The temperatures could easily get close to record-breaking numbers, whether it's at the coast, downtown San Diego, inland, or in the mountains. I'll have a breakdown on what to expect around the county, how the temperatures compare to the old record, and where we could set new records starting tomorrow.
The long holiday weekend, along with the heat wave, will likely send thousands of people to our beaches. But the county wants people to be careful of spreading the virus. After the 4th of July, cases of COVID-19 rose dramatically, prompting businesses to shut down. Doctors say if we don't want another surge, we have to follow the rules.
We need to maintain our social distancing from people and to wear our masks, and that's the least that we can do to protect our community, especially if you're around people playing, beach volleyball or runners who aren't wearing masks. They're spewing that virus. Just think of it like smoke in the air or a sneeze.
Businesses along the coast are also preparing for an increase in customers. Earlier this week, restaurants were allowed to reopen indoor dining with capacity limits and other restrictions. 1 week after holding a huge gathering on the beach in Oceanside, a religious group returning to the county tonight, this time in Coronado. As ABC 10 News reporter Anthony Pura explains, organizers say the county warned them about their last event.
The co-director of Saturate OC says they received a warning from the county, not a citation. He also adds that he hasn't heard of one person that's gotten COVID-19 from these events.
About 100 people came to worship at Glorieta Bay Park in Coronado on Friday. The Saturate OC event is held by a Southern California congregation. They hold worship services and baptisms along beaches and waterfronts.
We were in Huntington Beach, and then Newport Beach, and now Oceanside, and now here.
Parker Green is co-director of Saturate OC. This is their second event in San Diego County in back-to-back weeks.
It'd be hard to understand, I guess, if you're not a believer, but we prayed about it and thought this was the next place that we were supposed to come.
This is video of the Oceanside event held last week that drew hundreds. There were people not wearing masks and not social distancing. Green says they received warning via email telling them to follow public health orders.
Stay 6 feet apart, no live music, record everybody's names that come for contact tracing. And, you know, a portion of that goes against what I believe about the Constitution, and a portion of that goes against what I believe about Jesus. So some of those guidelines we just can't follow with conviction.
The county has not confirmed they issued a warning, but members of the county's Safe Reopening Compliance team were at the Coronado event. People at Friday night's gathering appeared to be more spaced out than people were at the Oceanside event last week.
People can wear masks or not. We tell people to bring masks on our social media, but I think the crowd that we tend to draw would be folks that rarely would wear masks in a public setting, especially outside.
Green says they have nothing planned for next week, but expect to return to San Diego County again in the future. Anthony Pura, ABC 10 News.
The outbreak at San Diego State has exposed 184 cases. The university reported another 120 cases just today. SDSU says none is related to any on-campus classes or activities. University officials say they're taking enforcement seriously. They've already issued 457 student violations. SDSU moved to online classes only for the next 4 weeks. Here are the latest county-wide numbers. The county reported 453 new cases, bringing our total to 39,899. There was one new death, bringing that total to 701. As we enter the holiday weekend, the CDC is warning Americans to brace for a rise in COVID-19 cases and deaths across the U.S. Here's ABC's Romina Puga.
A grim projection. The CDC predicts there will be nearly 30,000 more COVID deaths by the end of the month. The race for a vaccine all the more urgent.
We remain on track to deliver a vaccine before the end of the year and maybe even before November 1st.
Surgeon General Jerome Adams clarifying the call for governors to prepare for that November date.
It's not just about having a vaccine that is safe and effective. It's about being ready to distribute it, because what I would hate is for us to have a vaccine, but it still not get to the people who most need it.
Dr. Monsef Slawi of Operation Warp Speed says whenever a vaccine is ready, they will have enough to vaccinate 20 to 25 million people.
And then we will ramp up the manufacturing to immunize the U.S. population by the middle of 2021.
In Texas, Freddie Guerrero was one of 20 family members to get the virus. He spent 62 days in the hospital, having to learn to walk and talk all over again. But this week, he got to go home.
Welcome home, baby. You get to sleep in your own bed tonight. We love you, brother.
Heading into Labor Day weekend, President Trump warns Americans to stay vigilant and avoid large gatherings.
And we need everybody to be careful, to apply common sense, and do all of the things that we've told you to do as quickly as much as you can. Social distancing, wearing a mask whenever the distancing is not possible.
And new research on Russia's vaccine found it triggered an antibody response and had no serious adverse effects. The vaccine launched before evidence from phase 3 trials were ready. And more news on vaccines. Developer Moderna is slowing enrollment in its phase 3 trials to ensure it has sufficient representation of those most at risk for the virus. Enrolling the elderly, communities of color, and people with underlying health conditions is a priority. In North Carolina, Romina Puga, ABC News.
The state is exempting more professions from the AB 5 labor law, which requires contract workers to be treated as employees. Here's the list. Fine artists, freelance writers, translators, editors, and more are exempt from the so-called gig worker law. Lawmakers also gave newspapers another year before they have to reclassify contracted carriers as employees. Uber and Lyft are currently fighting AB 5 in court.